Hey guys, Zach here at etrailer.com. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Thule Camber 4x hanging style bike rack on our 2020 Hyundai Santa Fe. This is a hanging style bike rack, so it's going to do a really good job of holding our bikes in place. And for a hanging style bike rack, an issue that you're going to run into is they're going to be really close to each other, so you're going to potentially get some contact with some other styles. So Thule tried to do a good job of spacing these out a little bit. So you're going to have 7 inches of separation between each cradle. To give you a little bit more space, it's still going to be tight, but it'll help out compared to some other ones. They've done a really nice job with these cradles with adding like a sway, an anti-sway here, to reduce some of that play, to cut down on some of the contact with those bikes as you're going down the road. And they've done a little extra step here by adding some padding on the back side of the straps there to help keep from scratching on your bikes. And then also on the inside of the cradles there too. And that's going to be on the top ones as well. So we'll take this off, the bike off here, and we'll give you a little bit closer look at some of these. Take it off. Now with the hanging style bike racks, we don't recommend putting carbon fiber bikes on there. If you do have carbon bikes, we'd recommend going with a platform style rack. Now with these cradles here, they're going to have some grooves. They're going to do a decent job of protecting your brake cables and your shifter lines from getting pinched in there. And they've got a little bit of cushion on them to kind of cut down on some of that road shock that you're going to get going down the road. You don't have to put these back in place if you're not using, or you don't have a bike in place, but I always do just to kind of have a nice, cleaner look. Put that there. I'm going to give you some measurements here to give you an idea of how much this is going to add to the back of your bike, or to your car, excuse me. With that 7 inches that they give you of distance between, it does add a little bit more than some other hanging style racks. And to the back of the car, it's going to add about 45 inches to the back of the car. Now, one thing with hanging style racks that you're going to run into is they're all going to have a mast that comes up like this, and it's going to prevent your hatch from opening up. So what you can do is you can come down to this lever right here, pull up on that, and it's going to lower down for you. We do not recommend doing that with bikes on. As you can see, that goes down quite a bit, and it is not going to be able to support your bikes properly. But you do get full hatch access to get back in. So if you want to leave this on all the time, you need to use this for its purpose, you totally can do that. You can bring this back up into place, and it's going to latch. Now, we just talked about how much that's going to add to the back. If you do want to leave this on full time, or you don't want to have it fully extended while you're using your bikes, it does fold down, the arms fold down right there, and that's going to reduce it quite a bit. That's going to bring the total length added to your vehicle to roughly 12.5 inches. I'll give you another measurement here on the closest point of the bike rack to the vehicle. It's going to be right back here. It's going to be about 1.75 inches. That's fairly close, but you're not going to have any issues. It's got a little bit of movement there, but it's not going to come into contact with your vehicle. Now when it comes to ground clearance, it's going to be right down here on the furthest back part of the shank, and that's going to measure at about 10.25 inches. So it's fairly low to the ground there. You're probably not going to have any issues unless you're going on a really steep incline, but you should be pretty safe there. Now if we take a look at how the rack attaches to the hitch, this is going to work with both 2-inch like we have here and 1.25 inches. So if you're using this for 1.25 inches, it has this sleeve that goes around to fit into the 2-inch hitch properly. But you can just remove that with the included tool to make it compatible with 1.25 inches. It will work with Class 1 and Class 2, so if you have another vehicle with a Class 1 or 2 hitch, it will work with that. And it does have an anti-rattle bolt that secures it into the hitch. So it's going to take a lot of that play out of there as you're going down the road, with and without bikes loaded. Now it doesn't have a lock for the hitch, and it doesn't have a lock for the bikes attached to it. If you're looking for something like that in the hanging style bike rack, I would recommend the Thule Apex. It's going to have a lot of similar features. Cradles are all going to be the same. It's going to be the same distance between the bikes, but it's going to have some included locks. It's going to be a pretty similar design, just a few cosmetic differences. But overall, this is going to be a really nice rack. Thule makes really solid products. It's going to be a great way to get you and some friends or your family to the park. But that'll do it for a look at the Thule Camber on our 2020 Hyundai Santa Fe.
Here it is on our test course. We'll start by going through the slalom. This is going to show us the side-to-side action, which simulates turning corners or evasive maneuvers. Next, we're at the alternating speed bumps, which we'll see the twisting action. This will simulate hitting a curb or pothole or driving over uneven pavement. And finally, we have the full speed bumps, where we'll see the up and down action, which is just like driving out of a parking lot, garage, or driveway.